Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Mama Hearts Makeup, and in this tutorial I'll be showing you how I achieve this female version of one of my favorite characters of all time for one of my favorite movies of all time, Jack Skellington. I really like the way this look turned out and I hope you did too, so let's just jump on in. After moisturizing my face, I thought I would glue my eyebrows down with this glue stick. I found out later that I really didn't need to do this step, but I included it for anyone that has thicker eyebrows than I do. So go ahead and set the glue with some loose translucent powder. Don't use too much like I just did. I almost sneezed. Go ahead and dust off the excess there. And now I'm going to prime my skin really well. I want to really work the primer into the areas I feel I need it the most, and then set that primer with some more loose powder. I just find that it helps with the longevity of the makeup wear. Now I'm going over the skin initially with this white foundation. I find that this method works really well, especially for something like this that needs a lot of coverage. I have a lot of pigment in my skin. I'm a tan girl, so I needed like this multiple layer kind of attack. Yeah, it didn't quite take 2 hours, but it just felt like it. And now I'm going over the top of that with this cream makeup. I like using the sponge applicator for this, so that way it blends in nicely, but it doesn't leave like any streaks or brush marks. This took a minute as well, but I feel like I use less product this way since I have that base of the white foundation. Really work it in, back onto the ears, down the neck. And you really want to make sure to set this well with the loose powder. And now I'm going in on the body. I'm really not a body painter kind of girl. I wish I was, but if I honestly would have remembered that I have like a hoodie that has the Jack Skellington like suit print on it, I would have just thrown that on instead of trying to draw it on. This is kind of a fail, but I was already far into the tutorial, so I just left it. But y'all can probably do something way better than I did here, but yeah. I couldn't skip over it because, yeah, it took a million years and I still didn't like it, but whatever. Now let's go in on the brows. I start out with this brow pencil, but my brows are kind of acting weird because, they were full of glue. So I go over with black face paint instead, and that worked a little bit better. I wanted, really dark, dramatic, cartoony eyebrows. Now going in with this Black Bean Jumbo Pencil by NYX, I'm using this as an eyeshadow base and going in mostly on the lid and using this powder puff to kind of pull the lid down a little bit so that way it doesn't disturb any of the makeup we just laid down. Now going over the pencil with eyeshadow. Oh yeah, make sure you lay down some powder first in case there's any fallout. I didn't have too much fallout, thankfully, but I worked in small batches a little bit at a time, using less pressure as I went up the lid, but really concentrating the color on the actual lid. I wanted the lid space itself to be as dark as possible, so I probably went over the lid maybe 4 or 5 times, honestly. Smoke out that lower lash line. And I kind of went in a little dramatic here on the inner corners. I go a little deeper later on, but for now this is where I was. Now you don't have to do this portion. You can totally skip this part if you want, but your girl is extra, so if I can attach glitter to any tutorial, I will. And since I wanted to be a glam kind of Jack Skellington, I went ahead and used that eye gloss. Now I'm going in with just a regular liner pen and created a dramatic wing. And then I went ahead and attached some lashes to this side. Now using that same eyeshadow brush that we used on the eye, no additional product really, I just kind of mapped out Jack's grin. His grin is pretty wide on his face, so I put it wide on my face, and then really defining it with that same eyeliner. Now I'm continuing his grin pretty far back on my face. Jack's grin is pretty wide. You don't have to go as far back as I did. If I had to do it again, maybe I wouldn't go as far as I did, but I don't think it looks bad. Now really defining the different areas on my face with a little bit more shadows to kind of give the look a little more dimension, and really defining that smile there. Now using my favorite liner, apparently. This liner is by NYX. It's a really good dupe for the Kat Von D tattoo liner that I've used for years. It is waterproof, and there we go. I drew in this little area here, like on his neck. He is supposed to be a skeleton, so I try to make it look a little more thin, but whatever. Now this part, I really wanted to use this black lipstick, and I went over the lips with cream paint and white foundation, and I probably shouldn't have done that because it made it look kind of gray and muddy. So I had to go over the lipstick with the black bean pencil. Now I like to include things like this in my makeup tutorials just so you can kind of learn from my mistakes. You know, I think I don't pre-do any of my ideas, so what you see is what you get, and I kind of include these little things just so you can kind of avoid some of my mishaps, you know what I mean? So I went full lip on this. I wanted a little glam skeleton. And I'm defining the shape of the lip a little bit more with a thinner eye pencil. I really wanted the lips to look nice and defined. I didn't want them to look too messy. Now I'm continuing his grin onto the lips there. And if you notice, I go from one side to the other so they match up. So what I do to the right, I do to the left. And there we go. Now I'm going to draw the lines a little further down the nose just to make it look more skeletal. I kind of like the way this looks a little bit better. There we go. And then defining that jawline and under the chin just a little bit more. I think I only used like 2 colors in this whole look, black and white. So there we go. There is the final look. I threw on this wig here and attached this bow tie that I purchased at a party supply store, along with the barrettes on the side of my head. I really like the way this turned out, as I've stated before. I am a little soft when it comes to Jack Skellington, and it is the movie's 25th anniversary, so there's that. Thank you so much for visiting me today. I appreciate it so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.